I need an ornament for this. Someone really nice bought me this, and I need to put this on a shelf. Anyways, guys, what we're going to talk about now is pro wrestling. Hell in a Cell was on. Do I have some opinions on it? Yes, I do. Are some of them good opinions? It really depends on who you are. The Bella versus Bella feud, I'm just going to say this. Daniel Bryan, stay out and come back when this is over, because believe me, you don't want to be involved in that storyline. What else do I think? The Randy Orton John Cena thing. I'm going to make a comparison to another professional wrestling promotion, if I can get my words out right, called New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, going back to Cena and Randy Orton, I know so many fans didn't want to see this. I know a lot of fans were not happy with the idea that this would be the show closer. I know a lot of fans were pissed off that Cena lost to Ambrose, yet Cena's getting the #1 contenders match for the belt, and Ambrose isn't. So I know that there was a lot of kind of backlash about this match, and the fact that we've seen this match 101 times, it feels like, and that they're trying to promote this as like a rivalry as big as Rock and Austin or Hogan Piper, one of those big time feuds, when really it's not. Their chemistry is a bit off, the characters haven't evolved enough where you can make it fresh, and I don't think they're as dynamic as talents, especially with this American style of wrestling, that people believe them to be, because if they were, people would be clamoring for this match. And I compare this to New Japan Pro Wrestling and the fact that we're going to have Okada and Tanahashi wrestle again, and that the fans are excited to see that, and they've wrestled quite a few times. The fans are more excited to see that, and that's what they should be getting with Cena and Orton, but they can't. And I give credit to the skill level of the two performers, Okada and Tanahashi, and their creativity and the way that they change things up. That is as a reason as to why people want to see those three matches and are not interested in Cena and Orton. Now back to Hell in a Cell. I watched the match. Cena won. Cena and Lesnar's not going to happen till what? Royal Rumble probably. Am I pumped up for it? I mean, yeah, fine, whatever. Doesn't matter to me. How are they going to rebuild Cena? Still, I don't know. I mean, it's Super Cena, but what are they going to do to kind of really sell that match? Because he can't beat him. That's the thing. He hasn't beaten him, this current incarnation of Brock Lesnar anyways. So they're going to have to do something drastic this time. But Cena and Lesnar is going to happen. I actually thought Orton would win, because I thought they would go with the fresher option, which is Lesnar and Orton, which has never happened, and also based on the fact that they're turning Randy Orton face, which I've had my opinions about and I'm going to get onto later, so hold that thought. Then we go on to Rusev and Big Show, and Rusev is continuing to be pushed. I'm not against that. I don't think he's a bad talent. I think he's got quite a unique style, so I do like that, but I'm not a person that is like, when I suspend my disbelief. I don't hate Rusev. I find the material, but you know, oh, I hate the America, blah 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 blah. Even though he's from Florida, I hate the America, blah 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 blah. It just doesn't. You got to be more cutting than that, and it kind of comes off like pantomime rather than what you would need, especially when you're trying to build him up as a unstoppable monster heel force. So yep, he beat Big Show. I think Mark Henry's turning heel, so we already know that that's going to happen. Now I want to talk about the real main event, and that is Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. So give me 2 moments while I sip this. Someone in London's chanting down it while I was doing that. I heard you. Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. Now, they have great chemistry. They have always had great chemistry. When Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose wrestled one another in FCW, they had great chemistry, to the point where I was like, get those fuckers on the main roster now. Sorry guys for calling you fuckers, but that's the way I express myself. Get those guys on the main roster right away. So you get Dean Ambrose and you get Seth Rollins in the Shield, great in the Shield, you split them apart with as well as Roman Reigns. You have this feud between Ambrose and Rollins, which has been very entertaining, very back and forth, non-stop action, just balls to the wall when they're in their matches. It's very, very entertaining, and the story being that Ambrose has to chase to get to Rollins, which I think there's more money in doing, because he needs to have a reason to keep going after him. But my problem is, there's going to come a point where if he doesn't get his revenge properly in the ring, the 1, 2, 3, fans are going to get tired, so they're going to have to think of ways to freshen it up all the time. So they have this Hell in a Cell match. Hell in a Cell matches, in my opinion, don't have the meaning they had, and this is the one time where you can argue that the PG rating has affected the product, because I feel the Hell in a Cell match was a brutal, bloody, no escape, we're going to literally rip each other apart and we're going to be better men for it kind of match. But unfortunately with the PG rating there's a lot of things you can't do, and also the style change, which is kind of necessary because you don't want to injure your wrestlers, has affected the drama of that match, where, you know, back in the day when you put a Hell in a Cell match in, everybody was ready. Now when you put it in, it's just a standard cage match, and that is unfortunate to see. But you have Ambrose and Rollins, and you know that they're good enough to make it work, and they had this good back and forth match and a bit of an angle before, a little homage to the Shawn Michaels and Undertaker match with the bump off the cage onto the table, which was, you know, pretty cool. And then the match eventually takes place. I know fans thought it wasn't going to happen at first. Then the match happens, the match is going on. Ambrose brings out cinder blocks. He's going to finish Rollins off good and proper, and we think he's going to get his revenge on Rollins. And then something happened that completely took me out. Now, some fans may not have this opinion. I know some fans are really excited because we're going to get Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt, two of the best talkers and biggest characters in the company, going head to head like that. And I kind of feel that they made all this noise over here to distract us from what was going on over here. And while I would like to see that feud, it came across, it was so wacky. So you've got this Ambrose and Rollins feud, which is, you know, it looks like it's going to be the feud ender for now. And then you have this weird chanting going on. Then you have this genie coming out, or whatever the hell that was. And the lantern in the ring. And then Wyatt comes out, attacks Ambrose, and Rollins wins. And I think they expected fans to just hammer down with boos, or fans just get their fans, oh shit, did you see that? And on Twitter. And I don't know if I speak for everyone, but I was kind of taken out of it. But because the feud right now is Rollins and Ambrose. The feud right now to me is Rollins and Ambrose. And you need to let Ambrose have his revenge right now. And maybe it would have been best served if Ambrose beat Rollins, because it's not going to hurt Seth while he's got the Money in the Bank contract. And then, you know, eventually they cross paths again. And then you do something on Raw tomorrow where Wyatt gets involved. Maybe that would have been a better way to transition to the feud. But the way it came across with all this wackiness and bizarreness, which does fit Bray Wyatt's character, in a serious grudge match like that, it took me out. And I don't feel like I'm alone in this, because I felt a lot of fans were very indifferent to it. And I don't know what everyone else is saying online. I'm going to have to check some videos like NYG for Life to see what people felt, because I want to know if I was alone in this. And then I thought about it coming back from class, and I was like, Dean Ambrose has kind of been moved down now. While Bray Wyatt's a good performer and he's a great talker and all that, and a larger than life character, Dean Ambrose, who's been pushed as the number 2 guy in the company, bordering number 1, who's been getting more and more popular, really catching on with people. Then they give him some horrible comedy, but the less said about that the better. I thought about it, and I'm thinking, hold on a minute, if Randy Orton is possibly turning babyface, he's going to be the number 2, joint number 1 babyface, and Ambrose is going to be relegated. So the status quo is being remained again. And I think about it, and now I'm like, what are you doing? Randy's already established, keep him a heel. You're going to do Randy and Seth Rollins? I don't think you need to do that. And I bet you Randy beats Seth, by the way. And then you're going to relegate Dean Ambrose to Bray Wyatt. And while I like and everyone's going, oh, they're such great talkers, here's the point. Bray Wyatt needs to be reheated, because I feel that Bray Wyatt has really cooled off, like really cooled off, to the point where you could freeze your reduced meat inside him, if you know what I mean. He's really cooled off right now. He was a hot character when he debuted, but that push was not like the same way as like the Shield's push was. Then you have him in that feud with Cena, and I think that really hurt him. Then the Jericho feud never really took off in the way I think that they hoped and fans thought it would. And I feel like he's cooled down quite a bit. And if it was a hot Bray Wyatt, then I would be more for it. Like but also the fact that it's kind of a demotion for Dean Ambrose, and that's a really bad thing to say about Bray Wyatt. It kind of took me out. So I want to know what people think. Do other fans see what I see? Because I know this is not, you know, the universal opinion. I want to know what other people think about this, because I do feel like they tried to distract us with all of this noise here to not focus on what's going on around here. And, you know, it was very, very strange, and it just looks like to me that Ambrose is being relegated. And I wonder if they're going to blame it on his performance on those skits. Well, it's not his fault. You gave him shit comedy to do. You know, Ambrose is a larger-than-life character, far more engaging than Randy Orton, for the love of God. But it looks like he's being relegated, and when I see that, it kind of just takes me out. And then Roman Reigns will be back, and I can imagine Ambrose is going to be relegated even more, and that just... it disappoints me in a way. So I want to know what fans think. Did you have a good time watching the show? Did you enjoy it? What did you think? What did you feel? I saw Paige versus AJ. That feud needs some new life. In fact, that entire Divas division needs a complete revamp. They need to get some of those girls on NXT when they're ready on the main roster, like ASAP. Even like get Charlotte Flair in the next year and a half, possibly. So they need to do something with that division. I'm going to stop. You let me know what you think. You let me know how you feel. Did you enjoy that Hell in a Cell main event? I know we were all happy to get that as the end, you know, the final match. But how do you feel about the finish? And how do you feel about this Bray Wyatt feud? And how do you feel about what they're doing with Cena and Orton? And it looks like Orton is now going to be turning, well, he's turning babyface. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you feel. If you've not met me before, I do MMA, pro wrestling, comic book videos, social commentary. I go nuts on camera sometimes. If you haven't before, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, write some comments, share it, and let me know what you think. Guys, I am out of here. Take care, peace, and bye.